Let's do a self-exploration meditation on knowledge. Knowing knowledge is not bondage. For this self-exploration, if you want, you can close your eyes or keep them open. We will explore our thoughts. In your own mind, say 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Let the thought arise, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Let's examine this thought now. Ask yourself the following questions. Do you recognize that there can be only one arising at a time? Means only one thought at a time? Was there any other arising there when the thought arose 2 plus 2 is equal to 4? Do you experientially recognize that when that thought was there was no action? Do you recognize that the thought has now ceased? It disappeared into nothingness. Do you recognize that once a thought has ceased, it exists no more? It does not even leave behind a residue or a remnant of itself. Do you see that? Can you locate any karmic seeds left behind by the thought? Theoretically, a thought would leave behind anything in the form of a thought only. Do you see any karmic seed thought left behind? Or do you just see nothingness? Some of you might say that it has left a memory behind. Memory is also a thought. Do you recognize that the thought, even when it existed, was only knowledge? Do you recognize that now, when the thought does not exist, its memory is also only knowledge? Isn't knowledge made up of nothingness? That which is no more, that which has no more remnants left behind, can it in any ways get connected to the next arising? How can that which is no more produce an effect? How can that which has ceased produce a projection? How can that which cannot get connected to anything else even produce a karma phalam? Let's open our eyes if our eyes are closed and write down in our notebook 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Carefully observe the movement of the hand while you write down 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Ask yourself this question. Do you recognize that an action is not different from a thought? If it's not clear, write 2 plus 2 equals to 4 again. Do you recognize the movement of the hand and the written words are simply a perception of sight plus sensation? Do you see that the perception of sight is simply a thought? Do you see that the sensation is simply a thought? Isn't thought simply knowledge? Was the action of writing different from knowledge? Isn't the memory of the action of writing 2 plus 2 equals to 4 simply knowledge? Wasn't the action simply knowledge? Isn't the memory of the action simply knowledge? Both action and thought are simply knowledge. There is simply knowing, not doing, not thinking, but simply knowing of knowledge. There is no externally happening action and internally happening thought. The external and internal are simply ideas. Ideas that have been developed for the purpose of communication. Ideas are thoughts. Thoughts are knowledge. There is simply knowing, not doing, not thinking, but simply knowing of knowledge. There is only a single screen of knowledge. A unified screen of knowledge. Look at the complete picture in its entirety. Look at the whole, not at the parts. When you experientially recognize the totality, you will notice that there is no two. There is no two. One does not cause the other. One does not impact the other. One is not related to the other. One is not connected to the other. Because there is no other. There is no two on the single screen of knowledge. It is all knowledge. Knowledge knows itself. There is only knowing of knowledge. There is no bondage in knowing the knowledge because there is no individual knower. There is simply knowledge knowing itself. Awareness is aware of itself. There is no me. There is no I. There is no individual knower. There is no bondage in knowledge knowing knowledge. You are liberated. Bondage was only a false idea. Projection and perception of projection was a false idea created for communication. Communication exists in the realm of time and space. Words create bondage. Go beyond the realm of time and space. Be the light of awareness that you are. And you will recognize there is no projection. There is no projector. The knower and the known was also a false idea. There is only awareness. Awareness is aware of itself. Knowledge knows knowledge. There is no two. Two are required for bondage. Two are required for a relationship. Two are required for a connection. But there is no two. There is simply knowledge. Two are required for cause and effect. There is no two. There is simply knowledge. There is no cause, there is no effect. Cause and effect only exist in the realm of time and space. You are beyond the realm of time and space. In fact, from this vantage point, there is no time, there is no space, there is no causality. There is no bondage. You have always been liberated. There is no bondage. You have always been liberated. There is no bondage. You have always been liberated.